Hey, how's it going? I am trying to figure out. I was just trespassed from the court, and I was trespassed for contempt, but I was already out of court. So I'm a little lost in what unlawful acts I did because no one can specify what I did that was unlawful. Gotcha.
So when they said that you were trespassed from the court, did they just told you not to come back, or did they actually arrest you for trespassing, or what's the scenario?
No, I was trespassed for the day, but I had finished with court and then I went to go handle more business in the prosecutor's office. And when I came back, I was being escorted by security guards at that point, and the judge said, no, he doesn't have any more business here. I want him trespassed. So I'm just wondering what unlawful act I committed in order to be trespassed, because I'd like to make sure that again.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no way for me to know if that came from the judge. I know they told you not to go back there for the day, but unless the judge specified, I have no idea. There's no way that I'd be able to.
I'm trying to see if I'm getting my other.
Well, I mean, your officers couldn't tell me what unlawful acts that I committed. They just said that I was trespassing. So
Police officers or the security officers?
they were the police officers.
No.
Do you know which ones they were?
I would have to review my video footage just to get their names. I guess my question is I certainly understand officers following policies and procedures when they're ordered by a judge, but my question is, how can I know what I did wrong in order to correct it so that way next time it doesn't happen again?
So, my best recommendation, and it's only a recommendation, is I would review your video, and if you're able to get the officers, at least their names, numbers, or something like that, I would be able to provide you contact information for those officers, and then you can ask them, because they're the ones that were there, and they're the ones that should know why.
No, they didn't actually, and that's on video as well. They just stipulated that the security guard said that the judge wanted me trespassed.
Do you know which judge it was?
Schumacher.
I would then recommend to contact the court via telephone and kind of state your scenario. I wouldn't know anybody over there specifically to direct you to, but possibly the information desk or something like that. I can provide you with that number, and I would call and try to inquire that way.
Well, I guess my question is, why wouldn't I be informed of my unlawful reason when I'm actually being trespassed? Because I certainly understand the police are saying, hey, I'm just here to trespass you. They don't want you on the property. If you don't leave, we're going to have to arrest you. So this has been a common practice for Mesa PD, in which I'm trying to understand, because they're applying the law incorrectly, which states that an unlawful act has to occur and they have to be asked. So I need to know while they're trespassing me, what unlawful act I committed so that way I don't do it again.
No, and I understand where you're coming from. Since I'm not a police officer, I can't answer that question for you because I don't know.
Understood. Do you have a police officer that I may be able to speak to?
We don't just have them available readily. Again, I can put you in contact with the other officers that came to talk to you, or their supervisor if you want. But as far as just having an officer that's here at the ready, we don't have that.
You don't, at the police station, you don't have an officer?
The administration building. This is the substation is where the officers are out of. Patrol officers.
Oh, out of like a patrol office, and this is just administration?
Right.
Gotcha. So I guess, how can I go forward with talking to a supervisor or some sort while I'm here in regards to this circumstance?
What time was it when you were at the court?
I just left like 10 minutes ago, so 10:30, 9:30 to 10:30. Okay.
Did you need help with something?
Oh, yes. I'm trying to figure out how to, they told me I had to go do a fingerprint and, DNA.
Man, I wish I could see my chat. Hey, they started working.
For.
Hey, Excalibur, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, DNA swabs and fingerprints? Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go to the judicial complaint.
I called over the phone and they
That's
gave me
down
the,
at in downtown Phoenix. I gotta see what's going on with that.
No. No, they told me that I had to come here and do
Yeah, that is a good one. Well, it's interesting that they don't have police officers here, but they have the detainment center, so all the police officers bring everyone to detain here.
But in order to do that, you need to have paperwork, and that's what I'm requesting. Have your paperwork, so I can see you go there.
Interestingly, they look like they're uniformed officers, but they're not sworn officers. I dealt with the same thing yesterday when I went to Department of Public Safety. Wearing what looks like the same uniforms, but they're not actually sworn in. So I think he's trying to pull up the information and seeing who I can talk to about this scenario. Because I still don't know why I was trespassed.
Because I know I would have seen it.
Okay, can you hold that bottom one up? There, hold that up.
Yeah.
And AZ Unfiltered, I appreciate you sharing that interaction. I mean, getting the word out there is always number one, so thank you so much for your support. I'm sure they do. That's why I'm trying to figure out who I can speak to while I'm here. Since I know they don't have people usually just show up. So now I figured out how I can work my chat. I have to touch on my screen and drag. Yeah, I can see my chats now. Thanks for tuning in, Tapatio Stopwatch.
While you're sitting, if you can look through your documents and see if you have one that says loophole.
What's interesting is the courts used to have live sessions up until like a year ago. And I think it was DirecTV's page that helped get that changed. The court stated that the reason it's not there anymore or available to the public is because it was only there for the pandemic. So that's quite interesting that they would remove it after the pandemic, quote unquote. They got a kiosk here that you can file a complaint from. And a telephone for you to dial out. A small map that doesn't reference north, south, east, or west, so that makes it fun when you get out. It's even funner if they took your cell phone. I just found out that the officer who impounded my property isn't even, it's not the sergeant of the officers, because that was Bailey. And it wasn't Higgins or Lotto? I can't remember his name. Instead, it's Officer Coldpart. It's very interesting how they have these, all of these different procedures split up between different personnel. Yeah, court was exciting today. Court was exciting in the fact that I was constantly being under the threat of contempt, and the judge didn't like how I was being disrespectful to the court. When he asked me to remove my hat, I said no, politely declining. He said it's the decorum of the court. I said I understand. Kept my hat on the whole time. I tried to stay outside the bar up until he threatened me with contempt to get inside the bar. Yeah. Contempt, contempt, contempt. Found out you have no free speech on the bench, even after you're outside the bar. That's what all of this derived from, was the judge's capacity to hold me in contempt for even being on the property. Because I spoke in a redress of the government that he didn't appreciate. That's all I can figure. But yeah, this is just sitting here waiting. If they send someone out, I will start another live, but since this is just a waiting game, I think I'm going to end this live. I don't want to keep you guys on if nothing's going on. Shut the heck up, Asian. What's the stinger device? Yes, I'm in Mesa. Yeah, I told the judge the same thing, like, judges aren't always correct. The judge educated me on Rule 5.1, which was for felonies, but it was for the rules of the court. Find the elder, Google it. Yeah, it seems to be a lot of trespassing over feelings, not actual unlawful actions. When I exited the court, because they wanted me to step outside, I stepped outside and the door wasn't able to close. So I did what they asked and followed the directions, and they weren't too happy about that. You know, kind of like how when police officers stick their foot in your door and you're trying to close it.
I got the court's phone number. You can contact the court and see exactly why from the judge. Those are the two officers that were on scene. That was the sergeant that was also assigned to the call, and that's the sergeant's phone number.
Perfect.
This is the incident number at
Perfect.
the very bottom.
Do you happen to have access to the sergeant's supervisor's name and badge number by chance?
I can access that, yes.
Would you mind providing me that as well? No, of course, I see you filled that up with all the information you're providing, and I can't thank you enough for that. Oh, well, that I'll be sure to check that out once I get my other phone back. Thanks, Tapatios. Take care too. What's up, Sean? Thanks for joining.
That's the information on the back there, okay?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your assistance.
Any other questions for me today?
Do you happen to have a Nope, I got the number right here. I got it. I'm perfectly set. Thank you so much. You too. All right, guys. That's all wrapped up. So I got the contact information I need for those officers. I'll have to call the PIO. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Last time I got into it with the it's not the PIO, the complaint people. Hey, sorry about that. I had filed a complaint against officers a couple weeks ago, and I was supposed to get a call back because I had spoken to the division's, the internal affairs chief, or the one who overlooks the whole department, and was treated very disrespectfully. And I had asked to speak to someone who oversees that department, I think like an assistant chief or something of that nature. Would they happen to be available to speak with by chance?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of schedules that our executive level management has. I don't know. I can put you in touch with the particular individual that you're talking about. Do you remember their name?
I just have to go through my notes.
Because we got different chiefs and they just transition to different positions, overseeing different areas. So,
Oh yeah, there was a chief that was presiding over that, the IA. I just don't remember what the chief's name was.
again, they just recently changed, so I'm not exactly sure if the same one still presides over it or a different one does, but I can put you in touch with, I can give you the number for the chief's office. You might be able to,
Where is the chief's office located at?
in this building,
Oh, it's in this building?
administration building, so
Is anyone available to speak with me now by chance?
I don't believe so. I can try, but, again, I don't know their schedule. They might not even be here currently, so.
Yeah, I don't mind you trying. I appreciate all the efforts that you're doing so far. Yeah, because I'd really like to be able to speak to him about that situation, because the sergeant, or whatever position, the lieutenant, was for that scenario, as a victim, made me feel horrible. And so I just need to get that addressed appropriately so that way other people don't experience it.
If it was the lieutenant specifically, I would be able to provide you the contact information for the person that's over him, which is the commander, so.
I don't remember if it was the commander. I just know that they were getting me in contact with the highest person who oversees that department. Thank you so much. I almost forgot about that happening. That guy was fun to deal with. It's interesting that I'm gonna have to call the court to figure out why I was trespassed. I've been putting a lot of these perspectives in association with homeless because while most of us are fortunate to be able to accomplish the things that we look into and making sure the police follow policies and procedures correctly is extraordinarily time consuming. So if you have a regular 9 to 5 job or 8 to 5, likely you would not be able to accomplish as much as you think you would be able to because everything is spread so far and you constantly get the runaround. Yesterday I was dealing with DPS in which they sent me downtown after speaking with the duty officer on the phone to figure out where I can get their operations manual, and went to DPS's Encanto office. They couldn't tell me where to go. I finally spoke to a supervisor there who got me in contact of the location I needed to pick up that policy manual, which was a records request. So they extorted me for money, made me pay for the information that's already supposed to be readily available and provided to the public. And so I'm gonna have to file I'm gonna have to get that money back, filing the civil suit. And that was in regards to an undercover unit stalking me and pulling me over. So that was a fun stop to go through with that officer. I think it's interesting how lawyers have to validate Supreme case law or similar court context to for accused innocent individuals. Yeah, the service is really good here. Very professional, very courteous. Alright, I'm going to cut out of this live. If I get in touch with personnel, I will go live again. Thanks for all your support. This is why recording is necessary, and this is why you always film the police. Bye, guys.